I am Supreme, and today's Astro Oracle investigation will be a part 2 of the Madeleine Beth McCann Astro Oracle investigation. Okay, if you did not watch part 1, you will not understand part 2 because I'm going to pick up where I left off. So please go in the link below. You will see part 1. You can click on that link and it'll take you directly to part 1, which is called Madeleine McCann Astro Oracle Investigation. Okay, so this video right here will be part 2. This was a suggested reading, part 2 reading from one of my viewers, and 330. Excuse me, sister, if I cannot pronounce your whole name correctly. So I just decided to say and 330. Okay. So I appreciate the information that you commented about the mother sign. She said the mother was a Pisces. So now we know the mother is a Pisces, and I wrote it down because we're going to look for these energies in this new reading, part 2. Right? Now we know the siblings were Aquarius, right? Because we also want to know, I think there's another subscriber, Susie, I saw, who made a point too about the siblings being involved. Or either it was Ann that made one of you two, but both of my subscribers and viewers, I appreciate the information and the input, and y'all two are the reason why I'm doing this part 2, because I also wanted to do a part 2 as well, because after I did part 1, I looked at numerous podcasts. Like, I had time to sit down and watch numerous podcasts of the Madeleine McCann case. Like, there's so much on this case. Okay, I've learned so much since part 1 that I can't help it but to do a part 2. So I'm with y'all with this part 2. Now, David Payne is said to be an Aries. David Payne was one of the friends that was involved in that, and he is in the spotlight now, okay, of this case, because I was hearing information about him, and like now Madeleine's father is Jerry and her mother is Kate. Okay, this is the Pisces, the mother, right? So one of Jerry's friends, who is also a medical professional, mind you, these are all medical professionals. I didn't even know that when I did part 1. Like, I did part 1 raw and uncut. Okay, but when I watched the videos, I saw the synchronicities of the cards that were pulled and my investigations. Because, of course, I'm a high-ranking oracle, so I never underestimate my ability to solve a situation and tune into the energy of a crime. The who, what, where, when, and why. It's just a matter of connecting the dots to make sense of all of this information that's being pulled from the cards and, the charts. So, one of the friends of Jerry and his wife, the friend's wife, who are all medical professionals. The wife, her name is Catherine Gasper. She was spilling the beans. I seen one podcast, she was spilling the beans, and she's a friend of the family, a trusted friend of the family. But she decided to come forth. And now she's telling people how she was witnessing conversations between her husband and Madeleine's father David Payne. She was witnessing conversations between David Payne, who is the Aries, and Madeleine's father, about, and David was sexually complimenting Jerry's daughter, Madeleine. Like, they was having whole conversations about this. And there were times when she saw David licking his finger, putting it in and out his mouth while twirling around his nipple in front of Madeleine. Now, this is some sick shit. But this is what Catherine was spilling. Like, this case is one of the most haunting mysteries, disappearances, and deaths. Because I believe Cat Madeleine is dead. We know that. Okay, go to part one. All the dots lead to her death, and in part one, all the dots also lead to her mother hiding information and probably the main suspect. But she is the power behind the scenes of this activity. And it makes a lot of sense because I was wondering why the mother's energy kept coming out. And then as I was watching these podcasts, she was up on stage looking demonic. Like she looked like she was possessed. It looked like something in her was talking, not her. It was like something had her possessed. She was looking dumb, and the father was looking dumber. I'm talking about the type of dumber that made him look more like a victim than a suspect. The mother looks more like the suspect than the father, but I believe they both were involved. All of them. David, the friends, all of that. Now, as far as the siblings, their involvement, I believe, came through, because now that I know that they're medical professionals, it makes a lot of sense. Because I believe they may have been giving the kids medication too. And I believe that Madeleine just may have been poisoned. Okay. And they were giving medication to the kids going to sleep. And see, I think Susan mentioned that. One of my subscribers mentioned that, and it made a lot of sense. Because once I realized, okay, they're medical professionals, so it does make sense. And also, what I believe happened was they gave Madeleine a specific type of medication, but they blended it in with the rest of the kids' medication, gave it all them, but they knew Madeleine's medication was going to unalive her, because that would make it seem more smooth in front of the other kids. So I feel like that is where the siblings were involved at. They all were under the influence of medication. They all were being medicated, but Madeleine's medication that particular night was laced with uh, some extra ingredients to make sure she never woke up. I believe Madeleine probably died in her sleep. Also, seeing how sick this situation is, they may have been sexually assaulted and molested while they were under the influence of these medications, especially Madeleine, since she was dead. And David may have been the one sexually assaulting her while she was dead from this medication. That's crazy. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Uh, right. So what's her name? Not Christian Bruckner. That's another guy too. I believe he's involved some form of fashion. Some form of fashion. That Christian Bruckner guy is involved. But what I was going to say was Catherine Gasper, the one that was spilling all the beans. I'm going to pull charts. We already pulled the birth chart and the disappearance chart in part one. So go to part one and look at how I connected the dots to know the information that I have. So now that we know the mother is a Pisces and the siblings are Aquariuses and David is an Aries. Now with all this information that we know, Madeleine, because I'm still tuned into her energy, tell me what happened. Y'all gotta excuse these cars. They're gonna blow all over the place, but I'm gonna put them right back on camera so you can see it. Tell me what happened, Madeleine, with all of this new information that we have and the stuff that's been confirmed. Tell me what happened, Madeleine, so we can bring justice to people who care about you. There are people who care about you. I'm one of them. I care about all the children. I care about everybody. I care about humans in general. That's why I love doing what I do. Because we're only human. Like, we're not perfect. The world is not perfect. And people are suffering. Like, My prayers go out to not just those who lost their lives being a victim of these sick people, but I also pray for the sick people as well, such as David. I pray for Catherine's I'm Catherine. Yeah, I pray for her too. Catherine Gasper and Kate and Jerry. The parents, all of them, everybody needs prayer. Everybody needs because we're only human, and people are the way that they are for a reason, and it's just so sad when helpless children become a victim of unhealed humans who they're supposed to feel safe and protected around. So, Madeleine, tell us what happened. You have people that are watching this reading who really care about you and want to bring justice. Tell us what happened. Virgo in the fourth house. Now, when Virgo is in the fourth house, Virgo is the health energy. And like I said, I do believe, oh, somebody just told me, I just seen a comment come through. I think that was Ann. She just said that the father is a Gemini. She just said the father's a Gemini. So let me write that down. I just seen your comment come through. And so the father is a Gemini. Makes a lot of sense too. Gemini is also the energy of the siblings. But they said that the siblings is actually an Aquarius. But the energy of siblings, period, is Gemini. But now that we know the siblings are actually Aquarius, because I attributed Aquarius to the friends, because Aquarius is still the friendship energy, the friends that was with the family. But Anne said that the siblings were also Aquariuses. So she knows more than I do, obviously, about the signs of these people. And I appreciate that. So now the father, Jerry, is a Gemini. So let's follow this Virgo, this health energy in the fourth house of home and family. Yeah, because I believe they were being medicated. Let's follow this energy. All right. The fourth house is the house of the mother. That's the house of home and family. Okay. Virgo is the house of medical. That's the energy, the medical energy. So we do know that medicine was involved and so were doctors. Right? We do know that. That's a fact. So when Virgo is in the fourth house, guess what's rising? Exactly who Ann just texted me about. Gemini. Look at that. Virgo in the fourth house. Gemini comes first. She just told me the father is a Gemini. Look at that. Energy does not lie. Energy does not lie. All right. So the father is coming first. And this is a third house chart. Okay. And the third house is Gemini's house. Okay. But you got Leo there. Okay. Somebody in the energy of those people just might be a Leo, but Leo is attributed to children in the local environment, which they were frequently checking on these children in the local environment. Okay. So where is the mother at in this chart? In the 10th house, the authority figure. The mother is right there, the public eye. Okay, the one that's hiding all of this stuff. Okay, and if you look inside a Pisces house, you'll see Taurus, which is the energy of money. There was definitely money involved. Okay, and the mother, and I feel like that's what's possessing the mother because somebody's getting paid. Money is the power behind the throne that the mother is sitting on. The way she could see, even when they were questioning her, like I said, she was sitting there looking possessed, like something was talking through her. But now we see, yeah, they were being paid. They were paying people as well. There's a lot of money involved. with people keeping their mouth shut, being careful what they say, being controlled behind the throne by money. Makes a lot of sense. All right? Where's the siblings at? They're right here in the ninth house, the house of foreign affairs. Okay? And where is David? The Aries. David is right here in the 11th house of friends. The 11th house is, friend, I told you, Aquarius. This is Aquarius' house. You see Aquarius right there in red? The red represents whose house it is. The black represents who's there. So David is in Aquarius' house. And Aquarius is right there, the foreigner, in the house of foreign affairs. Okay? So David was the friend. Now, let's follow Mars to elaborate on David. Let's see where Mars takes us. Mars, that day, was in Pisces, which takes us to the mother. Okay? So David, okay, the money behind the throne has a lot to do with David and the mother. Yep, this money that's behind the throne, okay, somehow David is linked to the mother. And somehow money is involved. Somebody can't say too much or somebody's going to lose their life. It's going to get worse than what it already is. So they're being paid to keep their mouth shut. So yeah, they're doing right by keeping David in the spotlight right now. But the mother is the one hiding everything. Okay? She's the one being controlled by the power behind the throne. This money is like a puppet. Okay? Because Mercury is in Taurus, both the day Madeleine was born and the day Madeleine disappeared. And Gemini rules Mercury, and Gemini comes first. And this is the father's energy. And see, the father looks more like a victim than a suspect. Okay? So he is on fire. He's in the lake of fire, burning up because of what he has to go along with. Okay? And the mother is the one doing all of the talking, pretty much. She's right here in the 10th house. She was the one being questioned in the media, doing the talking and stuff, looking crazy, while the father was sitting there, you know what I'm saying, on fire, looking more like a victim. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Okay? Now, look in the house of death. What you see? Capricorn. Capricorn is the father's energy. Okay? Now, Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn, the day Madeleine disappeared, was in Leo. Now, we're getting somewhere. Because Capricorn is the father's. Capricorn is the father's energy. Okay? Now, this can mean sexual assault from the father, or this can be somebody else's father. Okay? Involved with children. I believe that there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of weird shit going on in that family. All right. Who? Madeleine. With all this information that we got now, who did this to you? In part one, she said it was a family member. And it came out in the house where the mother was, the 12th house. Now, that could have been the mother that did this or the person that the mother is hiding. Because the mother was in the 12th house. And the mother is a Pisces. And Pisces was in the 8th house in part one of death. So that means the mother's hiding all the information pertaining to Madeleine's disappearance and death. Who did this to you, Madeleine? Who did this to you, Madeleine? I'm going to pick up those cards when I finish shuffling because I know they're going to be blowing all over the place. Who did this to you, Madeleine? Who did this to you, Madeleine? This is also who's responsible. A stranger in the third house. You know what? And see, look, that Saturn led us right to the third house. That's where Leo is, and this is Gemini's house. And look, a stranger in the third house. You know what? You know who I think this stranger is? Bruckner. I think this is that guy that lives in that neighborhood where they were staying in that holiday apartment. They wasn't at a hotel. They was at an apartment. I believe, but it's the type of apartment that people rent out as if it was a hotel. You know, kind of like what we call Airbnbs in America. So yeah, this stranger in the third house, there was a stranger in that local environment, okay, that's involved with the trafficking of kids. I believe that. There is a stranger involved. Yes, there is a stranger involved. There is a stranger involved. Keep talking, Madeleine. Who? Who? Keep talking, Madeleine. There is a stranger involved. And the stranger just might be a Leo. Because Leo is in the third house. And Leo rules the sun. So where was the sun at the day she disappeared? In Taurus. Right here. Yeah, they got paid. I told you, that is the payment that's controlling the mother on the throne, looking stupid and possessed. She can't tell all that she knows. That's crazy. Like, that's sick. That means you have no love at all for your children, even the ones that are still living. That's just sick. What can children do to you to make you be so treacherous towards them like that? Or to make, or for money, oh, let me pick this up. Or for money to, oh, it cause you to betray your own children. Cause people to do demented stuff to your children. Like, what is wrong with people? That's why everybody needs prayer. All right, Madeleine. Who else? Keep talking, Madeleine. Because she ain't telling no lies. A neighbor in the fourth house. A neighbor in the fourth house is the one, see, this medication right here. Somebody gave them something. Somebody gave them something. Yeah. And I think that neighbor also was, there's a lot of drugs involved. There's a lot of drugs involved. Yeah, there's a neighbor in that environment that lives right there in Portugal. This is the neighbor. And this is the stranger that's in the third house. Okay? This is home. This neighbor was at home in Portugal. Because remember, Madeleine and her family was not at home. They was on vacation. This shit makes a lot of sense. Everything is leading to this third house stranger. The fourth house at home, medication involved, drugs, and Gemini is rising. Gemini is the neighbor. But now we also know that Gemini is the father. Okay? Where was the father really at when David came to check on the mother and Madeleine and the children? Where was he really at? Dealings with this neighbor. Yeah. And the medication that was given to them in the family was the medication that killed her. Okay? Because in Virgo's house, which is the sixth house, you see Scorpio. That's the energy of death. Okay? And that was the medication that killed them. The father is involved because the Gemini is the father now that we know, but the father energy is Capricorn. No matter what sign the father is, Capricorn is the father's energy, and it's in the house of death. He played the role. The father and the mother played the role in the death. They all played significant roles in this sick shit that went down. This is crazy. Like this is crazy. This is demented. Jupiter was in Leo. Madeleine's Jupiter was in Leo. Okay, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter came out was the first card that came out in part one. I pulled that card and I said, "This is who did it." All right, and Jupiter showed up in the ninth house. Okay, Jupiter was in Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter and Sagittarius rules the ninth house, and Madeleine's Jupiter was in Leo. Okay, so this foreigner, which is in Portugal, who is a foreigner to Madeleine and her family, is responsible for what happened to Madeleine. And the father knows it, and the mother knows it. They all played a role in this thing. Okay? And they staged it to make it look like a kidnapping or an abduction when they all knew what happened. They all know what happened. The mother, the father, that stranger, and David Bruckner, who I believe is the stranger. But even if not, there is a stranger involved in that local environment in Portugal that lives there, that's seen everything, everything, everything. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments below and whether I need to do a part 3. But I think we pretty much, now it's just a matter of them going to bring that family back into the spotlight. Whoever is still living needs to be held accountable. They were medicating all those children. Yep, they need to bring their father, the mother, David Bruckner, and that neighbor, who I believe they know who that neighbor is too, because there was a neighbor that also said she heard some screaming for hours the night before Madeleine went gone. They need to go and question her too. She's part of it too. She seen something, she heard it, and she came forth and she seen it. So, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Y'all be blessed. Rest in peace to Madeleine Beth McCann.